Today is World Kidney Day. Its aim is to raise the importance of healthy kidneys. Last year saw the day be celebrated in 100 countries worldwide. Now, in the UK, more than 23,000 adults are currently receiving dialysis treatment for kidney failure, and this number is increasing every year. To tell us more on how and why we should be looking after our kidneys and going for more checkups is consultant nephrologist and transplant physician Michael Picton. Hello, thank you very much for joining us.
Nice to be here.
Happy World Kidneys Day, first of all. Let's start. How, first of all, do we ensure that we have healthy kidneys? How can we be looking after them? Is it the standard sort of healthy eating, exercise, or is there something more specific that we can be doing?
It's a combination of things. I think something that people aren't aware of is that when you have kidney problems, it may not be instantly or obvious. And so that people ought to be aware that what is their risk? Are they at risk of having a kidney problem in the first place? And the kind of people who are at risk are people who've already got diabetes, people who've got high blood pressure, who've had a stroke, who've had a heart attack, who've got a family history of kidney problems, or maybe have had operations on the kidneys or the bladder in the past. So those people ought to know whether or not the kidneys are working normally or not. Once you have that piece of information, then you know what you need to do next, and that might be a question of closer follow-up. But everyone ought to stick to healthy eating, so that's, you know, doing the usual things, avoiding gaining weight, avoiding smoking, things like that.
OK, now you mentioned a couple of the high-risk categories then. If there are people at home watching who perhaps have a concern, because you said that the symptoms perhaps don't manifest themselves in the way that some of the illnesses would, how can they go about finding out if there is anything the matter with them? Are there tests that can be done routinely at the doctors, for example? There's
a combination of things that they ought to have. One of them is a check of the blood pressure, and that's critical for all kinds of things that happen to our health. The other is a urine test, and that could be a very simple test done in the GP surgery, and also a blood test. And those combination of things probably give you as much information as you need in the first instance.
OK, very quickly as well, because we are running out of time. There's lots we could talk about here. But as part of the day today as well is raising awareness about people becoming a donor as well. And tell us how we can go about doing that and the importance, first off, of being on the register.
Well, as people know, a kidney transplant is the best treatment for people with end-stage kidney failure, advanced kidney failure. There is a shortage of kidneys in the UK, and a living donor is your best way of obtaining a kidney and having good health in the future. So people can go on the internet and register as a donor. That's a very simple thing to do, and I'd encourage everyone to do that. And particularly those people who know someone who have kidney failure, a relative or a friend, for them to seriously consider to be a living donor themselves. I think that's important. OK, so just hammer that message home. Thank you very much for coming in today. Unfortunately, we're out of time on that, but thanks for coming in and talking to us today. Thank you.
Channel M Health, in association with iloveme.org.uk.